from the Listed Gammons Club in Fermanagh. Have been a coach in Fermanagh and in my own club since I was 15. Then got the role with Ulster GA, and obviously Teresa McNabb is here. Teresa was a former colleague and former manager of myself, and she's still games development manager in Fermanagh. So I was very lucky to be based at my own county. I was one of my schools in the role with Ulster was my own primary school, my old primary school. So I was very fortunate, didn't have to travel to schools and stuff, so that made the job a little bit easier. As I said last night, I was a curriculum sports program coach, so all physical literacy. So increasing the confidence and self-esteem of children through agility, balance, coordination, catch, pass, kick, strike, and obviously the RJTs, run, jump, throw. And we're going to talk about a little bit about that later on too. During the job with Ulster, I was seconded to Ulster Ladies as their development officer. And it was a role I really enjoyed, a role then that was similar to what I'm doing right now. At Ulster Ladies, and obviously with the Rockland as well, I'm the only paid employee. So working with volunteers all the time, through coach education, workshops, seminars, etc. Governance, best practice, increasing volunteer development, etc. Okay, so all my roles have linked in well together, but throughout everything, from I first started coaching, I've always been really enjoyed coaching the younger ones, the tots. Okay, now everything that you're going to hear today, obviously, is applicable to youth coaches and adult coaches. All right, so it's a holistic approach to children, yes. However, it's the same premise, same principle for youth and adult as well. So if you are a U6 coach, and if you're in here, I know Brian obviously takes the men's hurling, so he's going to get something out of here today as well, all right, in terms of coaching and stuff as well. So it's not all about children, obviously. That's the main premise of it, but you will hopefully, if I'm doing my job right, you'll be walking out of here with a couple of new ideas and stuff as well, all right? So this is where we're going to go, hopefully. Now, hopefully you're not going to look like Homer after we finish, that you're not going to be confused still. I don't want that. If there's any questions, keep them in your head till the end, because if anybody knows me here, if a question starts, it'll start over here, but it could finish down there, and I'll not get half this stuff done. Okay? So just wait until the end, keep it in your head, and we'll have questions at the end. All right? So we're going to look at our coaching philosophies, and then we're going to look at obviously what children need from their coach, how and why, and then we're going to finish off with their expectations. Okay? So some of the stuff you'll hear today, you'll have heard before, okay? But hopefully you'll get something new out of this. So before we start, you have a post-it note in front of you. On the post-it note, one word. So not 10 words, not 20 words, one word, the first word that pops into your head that you associate with children, okay? And we're literally going to take 1 minute, not even a minute, all right? The first word that pops into your head. Okay, when you've written your word, because I don't want to embarrass anybody, now there's a couple of people here who will get challenged later on because I know them really well, and I don't care whether they like to be embarrassed or not, because I don't really care. I'll buy them a drink later on, it's grand. But what I want you to do now is the post-it note that you have, give it to somebody behind you or beside you. Okay? All right. So before we start, everybody has a different post-it note than what you started with. Yes? Cool. All right, does anybody want to give me some of the words that you have down? Fun, happy, friends. What else? Innocent. That's a good one. I like that one, David. Challenging. Small, curious. Potential. Any different ones? Performance. Okay. Sponges. Active. Small. Good. Thanks, Richard. Anything else? Open. I like that one. What's your name? Oh. I like that one, Catherine. Open. Any other different ones? You've all been very, very good. You've been really, really excellent. All very positive. So give me some other ones. Encouragement. Sponges, as Mickey said. Movement. Smile. Good. Goldfish, I like that one too.
Fragile.
Friend, yeah. Memories. Straight. Oh yeah, straight down the line, they'll tell you the truth. Anything else? Apprehension. Oh, I like that one. And sometimes they make me sure what they're doing. Make me sure of you. Curious. Any that are not so positive. Vulnerable. Good man, Peter. Inattentive. Thanks, Kira. Loud. No attention. Goldfish. Come back to Teresa's one. Goldfish. Can be both. Unsure. Suspicious. I like that one. Mine. Yeah. Whatever ball is in front of you, that's mine. Even though it's mine, because I own the balls. They think it's theirs. Very good. Any other before we move on? Shy, definitely. Impressionable. Very good, guys. Excellent. So kind of keep that in your head for obviously when you're coaching children, but when you're coaching any player of any age, right? They've all been like that at some stage. You've been like that at some stage, whether it's positive or negative. Okay? So hopefully what we're going to get is, at the end of today, hopefully none of you are doing this. Right? And if you are doing this, hopefully you stop it. Yeah, just the two. Yeah. It's that wee boy at the front, that's Mickey Quigg. So you do that, then you go into this. It's all about the coach. Great hand pass. Coaches talking about themselves. Right? Now, if you go back to this one, how can we change that? More balls. Open space. Good. Right. Pass to each other. This here one, chances are these two aren't even watching. They're probably being very naughty to each other. These two are either watching these two or watching these two. We don't know yet. And these two are probably the only ones engaged. Right? The coach is always engaged. But we want to reverse that. We want everybody to be engaged. Right? So hopefully I'm not going to embarrass anybody by putting your hands up. Do you still do that? No. Right? But we've all seen that. We've either been involved in it or we did it when we first started coaching. Right? And hopefully we've evolved, and that's what we want. Right? So, your own coaching philosophy. So we're going to take literally 2 minutes. Okay? The person beside you, if you have your own coaching philosophy, brilliant. If you have an idea where you want to go with your coaching and what your underlying principles are, brilliant. If you don't have a coaching philosophy, I don't care. Okay? Talk to the person beside you, have a discussion, and we'll kind of talk about a few things after that. So literally 2 minutes. Right? Ways go, guys. Colin. Turn this over a bit. So, does anybody want to give us their coaching philosophy or what underpins their coaching, why they're coaching, etc.? There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever you say here today is your rationale for it. Right? It's not right, it's not wrong, it's your rationale. Okay? Whether it's different from mine, I don't really care.
So one of the major roles of being coaches was to facilitate.
Good. Facilitate your own coaches that you're working with, facilitate the children, obviously then facilitate the equipment that you're working with, etc. So that there is a really broad range, which is excellent. All right? And that kind of encompasses a lot of your own coaching probably as well. What's your name? Fergus. All Right? So that incorporates probably a lot of your own coaching variables. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
I didn't do what you asked us to do.
So what did you do? What did you do?
We spoke about the clubs as a background, just to kind of, just very cool.
Okay. Oh, okay. Good.
But that was a serious point when I said, well, you didn't listen to what you asked us to do. That was a great starting point for me.
But again, it was something different. So instead of doing your own coaching philosophy, you've looked at what the club are doing and how the coach is working in that, and that's excellent as well. We'll take one more. Somebody over this side. So expand on that a little bit.
Well, everyone, regardless of ability, feels their participation.
And again, it kind of goes back to Ferguson. You're facilitating that participation. And then if your club are doing that, so that encompasses everything. And that's what we want. Right? So my own personal one, does this. Now this is for 3-year-olds that I coach, as well as the senior teams that I've been involved with before. Right? Learning, fun, holistic approach. Okay, that's what we're going to go over a little bit more often. Child, player, person always comes first, winning comes second. So you're coaching the person individually, and I know I wasn't in for the President John Horan's speech, but I know he talked a little bit about that, okay? But looking at the player individually, right, before you put them into the team. Because if they're happy, if they're comfortable, right, and all the words that you guys said earlier on, right, then hopefully then they're going to be more susceptible then to become part of the team. And then if that works, and if everybody's happy and if everybody's learning, then winning should come, right, eventually. But it shouldn't be the underpinning reason why you do everything, right? So, planning for fun, how do you do it? So this here, I could literally talk for an hour on this alone, all right? As you see, I like to do things a little bit different. So this here, I know there's a couple of people who were in Leeds with me. So this is Head the Ball, and this is Head the Ball Mark II. So the first Head the Ball is in New York. I use this on all courses in children, with children as well in coaching. So the reason for it is whenever I was coaching, try and make the lessons fun, obviously, but you're always going to get children who can't remember what they're doing or are just a little bit more challenging than others, right? And they're usually the ones that you're always talking to, right, about their behavior and stuff. So there's one little fella in particular, and this is what I came up with, because I was talking to him all the time during the class, right? He never got a star, never got a sticker. He did eventually, but it was very difficult for me to do that. Because if he'd done something wrong during the lesson, he wasn't going to get a sticker. He didn't deserve it. Right? But he understood why he was being put out and why he wasn't going to get it. So we had a good relationship. And I really enjoyed having him in class. It was challenging, but he was a good wee fella. So instead of talking to him all the time, didn't want to talk to him and talked about his behavior. I wanted to be positive. Right? So any time I was talking to him, I wanted to be positive all the time. So Head the Ball came in, and I would give out stickers at the end. Now, if Head the Ball is like that at the end of the lesson, or at the end of my session today, there'll be no stickers for anybody. All right? Now, during the class and during the session today, Head the Ball was like that when you came in, because you were very nice. You walked in very quiet. You sat down. You didn't mess about with each other. You didn't play with each other. You didn't box the heads of each other. And you've been answering my questions, so he's going to stay like that. However, if anybody falls asleep or messes about, I'll just go over like that and Head the Ball around like this. And then you will know that somebody has made me turn him around, but you don't know who. I know who, that person knows who, because I'm looking at that person all the time. Right? So I'm working with Brian's group. Right? I'm looking at that person all the time. And they know I'm looking at them all the time. Right? Knows I'm looking at them all the time. Go to Brian. Do you know who I was looking at? Does anybody over here know who I was looking at? Richard. Right? So Richard was the one who was messing about in his group. Without even having to go over to him, I was disciplining him. Right? Now, it only works when the children are aware of what Head the Ball does. Because what happens is when I'm with Brian's group, all the kids are playing, but as soon as I go close to head the ball, all the games stop and I go, see what I'm doing, where I'm going. Right? Now, as I said, head the ball could turn around about 10 times during the lesson. But in 6 years of using head the ball, he was never like that at the end. Right? Now, in some class, he turned 20 times. Right? And it used to give me a headache, working with a group, going over to head the ball, working with a group. Right? But it worked, okay? Because I was disciplining the children without actually talking to them. Right? Now, you need to know your group really well. Right? Doesn't matter what group you work with, it'll work. It might take a few weeks. Right? They might think that you're a complete lunatic, but have a go at it. Right? And obviously the rewards, now the sweets don't come out in schools, it's only for you guys. Right? But the stickers do. And we'll kind of talk about that later on. But through doing all your discipline, you're going to increase their fun and enjoyment because they're going to know where you're coming from in terms of what you want during the session. My big one is listening. If they're listening to me, great. But they should be able to listen to each other. Okay, because I listen to them as well. That's the biggest one. When I'm in schools, I don't say any rules. I say, listen, whatever your rules are in the classroom, it's the same with me. But my biggest rule, what do you think it is? And they'll all say, oh, be safe. But they'll all come up with listening. Right? So then hopefully then, when they're more aware of what you are and how you work, then they're going to bring their creativity out. The second one, relate to the child. I'm doing that by doing this. Right? Whatever age group you're coaching, children, youth, or adult, relate to them. You've been a child at some stage, you've been a youth at some stage between 14 and 18, 12 and 18, and obviously you're adults now working together. Okay? So relate to who you're working with. Right? And then the last one, questioning versus telling. Right? And we'll kind of go over a little bit about that more later on. Right? So what questions are you going to ask? Right? Instead of telling them what to do all the time, ask them questions. If they don't come up with the right answer that you want, ask another question. Right? So lead them to where you want them to go instead of sending them there straight away. Right? So you've done that, and then when you're actually coaching, one thing at a time. Now obviously with adults, with youth, you might be able to go to 2 and 3 things. Some adult teams, you might just be lucky to get one concept. Depends on what they're like, right? How they take in information. But the show me one, so all of the balls and all of the equipment that I have up here, so the bean bag, which is 2 different bean bags, one's light, one's heavier, and you can come up and fill them up later on. The smaller balls, different weights, some are light, some are heavy, and obviously big head and head the ball. Right? With all of that piece of equipment, can we do kicking? Can we do throwing? Can we do the hand pass? Can we do catching? Can we do the solo? Can I attempt the solo with this? Yeah. Is it going to come back up into my hands? No. So what area of soloing am I going to work at when I'm using this? Hand to foot. Right? Toe up. One concept at a time. The smaller ball, right, so this is a heavy one. Right, now we have a little light tiny one, the red one. Right, and blows back up. Right, so there's they're called tough skin balls. Put them in your pocket, the kids love them. But all they want to do, when they find out that you can put them down again, all they want to do is squeeze them, bring them back up. So they're not really great for, it's not a good idea to tell them that you can put it in your pocket and it blows back up again. Right? But all of those pieces of equipment, you can do the exact same with them. Right? So if you're asking the children to do something instead of telling them what to do, so what I would say is if I'm using the ball, we all have our own ball or we have a different piece of equipment, show me what you can do. Straight away, I can do the solo, so I'm going to solo. I can bounce, I can hand pass, I can do all the skills, that's brilliant. And I probably will do all the skills. However, then you'll have somebody different, right? You'll have Colm who finds soloing a little bit difficult. Bouncing, really confident at. Catching, kicking, needs a little bit more work. What is Colm more likely to do? Is he going to try the solo? What's he going to try and do? All the time. What he's good at, okay? So children are always going to do something that they're comfortable with, right? So then, when you go into trying a new concept for them, so Colm, for example, finds solo a little bit difficult, right? Work with Colm a little bit. Have a go, Colm. I can't do it, I can't do it. I can't do it, Captain, I can't. Have a go, Colin, have a go. I can't do it. Can't, I don't like the word can't. It's two words put together. Right? There is no can't. Have a go and you will know how it feels. Then we can work together. Right? So he should be able to tell you how it feels. Does it feel easy? Does it feel hard? Then you should be able to come up with some strategies and some activities that are going to help him with the solo. Right? Whether it's bouncing it and soloing it back, or whether it's just using his knee. Right? So if we can go like that, the next stage is there. And then hopefully the next stage is there. Right? Now, you'll obviously work with the hands, and some of them will drop it down with two hands, some of them will throw it up and try and solo. Right? But again, one concept at a time. And that goes for everything. Whether it's adults and youth players for a new tactical system, right? One thing at a time. Right? So make it easier for them. It's going to make it easier for you as well. Right? You're planning what you want to talk about, but then when you go to your coaching, obviously have that in your head. So if you're thinking of a concept and within 10 minutes they've done it already, then challenge them again. So have in your plan, make it harder. If that concept is too hard for them, obviously then make it easier. All right, that's what we want as well. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah. Good. You probably would have seen this before, obviously. So the reality of children, adults and youth probably as well as development, we all started at the very bottom of that squiggly line. We went backwards, we went up, we went down, we went forwards. We had a lot of development, a lot of improvement. And then we maybe went away from the game for a couple of years. Right? And then our skill level dropped. So we had to get it back up again. Okay? But it's all about development. No matter where it comes or how you do it, right? Try and develop them as much as you can. But obviously this is related to you as well. Okay, as a coach developer, right? As a player developer. Right, as a person developer, not all about the players, right? So just keep that in your head. The biggest thing is be patient. Be patient no matter who you're coaching. 3-year-olds, 23-year-olds, 43-year-olds, don't care. Be patient with them. All right, keep things in perspective. All right, you want them to learn, treat them as an individual, and then see where that goes. Okay. So how and why do we do it? So that's hopefully what the players want from the coaches, but how and why do you do it? Right, so obviously the child development program is the sheet that you have in front of you. We're going to kind of talk about that now in a little minute. The marriage of principles is on the back of the sheet, hopefully. Should be, Pat, isn't it? Then we're going to literally talk about the game sense approach through the family of games. The 5 C's, again, we'll talk about, and then lastly we'll finish off with expectations. Right. This here, guys, is an amalgamation of everything. U6, U8, U10, U12, ladies football, camogie, hurling, and Gaelic football. Now, it's not a resource that's copyrighted, so use it whatever you want. As I said, it's a combined one, so I do have individual ones for 6, 8s, 10s, and 12s, right up to U18s, which should be done in each age group, how you do it, and a few other wee bits and pieces. So I have my contact details at the end, so you can kind of take it down if you want it. I'll send it on to you. But that there just gives you an idea of kind of how we go with the child development program. All right? But obviously, by the time they get to 12, you'll be able to do that. But there's stuff here: psychological development, mental preparation, respect to coaches, positive attitude, creativity, imagination, questioning, building self-confidence for youth and adults as well. All right? So that there's in front of you. I don't want to talk about too much. All right? The magic principles as well in the back. You will see, so motivation. So if the children are motivated, if they're having fun, if they're learning, hopefully then they're going to improve. All right? Making sure it's age appropriate as well, so that all of your activities are differentiated for the individual, but making sure that they're growing during it, so they're improving. Okay. Then the last one that is individualized. So again, looking at the individual, but making sure that they're challenged through it. So it's it's getting harder if they're finding it very easy, and if it's a little bit too hard for them, to make it a little bit easier for them. So we want success. And then the last one is obviously child-centered. If you're working with youth players or adult players, Brian, make it related to them. Okay? So make it fun. Everybody wants to enjoy it. Right? But make it related to the team that you're working with. Right? And that's for children, youth, and adults. So you'll see obviously at the top the physical literacy. Here, obviously, as I talked about last night, the physical literacy skills of obviously the children in the American school system is completely different because they have full-time PE staff in the elementary schools, primary schools, so it's completely different. So I don't have to do as much in relation to specific physical literacy. Now, obviously, we do it during the warm-up, we do it during the sessions and stuff, but we don't physically tell them we're doing it. Right? Because you don't need to, because they already know about it, right? Or they've already done it. And if they're not aware of it, then they can do it anyway. Right? So it's a little bit different. But obviously, most of the stuff for U6s that I'm doing and U8s, and right up to senior, we're still doing the agility balance coordination. Right? RJTs, run, jump, throw, and then the CPKs, catch, pass, kick. Right? But the little s is the speed. Right? So increase in speed, decrease in speed, acceleration, deceleration. So making it easier and harder as well. Right? So you're laying the foundations. Moving to learn, or learning to move, moving to learn. And again, for youth and adults as well. Right? So as we said about the magic principles, but the last one here, what I want to talk about is playing positions. Youth and adults as well. Get them to play different positions. But also, let them be a coach. Let them be a mini referee. Okay? So if I have a group of 5 children, and we're doing 3 against 1, or 2v2, one of them is out to the side, right? And one of them is doing 2 things. Number one, doing one of 2 things. They're either watching their peers for the skill that they're doing. So they have the iPad, right? So whether they're doing solo, the kick pass, or doing blocking, so they have that. And they're looking at their players when they're playing and how they're doing the skill, whatever skill that we're looking at. Right? If they're not doing that, then they're mini referees. Okay, so they're making sure that obviously nobody's boxing ahead of each other, that everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing, but they're also looking at how each player is playing, what they're doing well, and obviously one thing that they can improve on. Okay, so it's not what they're doing really well and a weak aspect. Right? And there's nobody weak. They're perceived to be weak, but there's nobody weak. Right? There's no weaker counties. They're perceived weaker counties. But if they get the right structures in place, they'll improve. And then they'll not be weaker anymore, or perceived to be weaker. Right? So the language is very important too. Right? So again, playing positions, but also referee coaches. Just get them to experience it. Right? Ask them how it feels. Have a go and you will know. Right? So the game sense, obviously it's not what they do, it's how and why they do it. So you're not teaching the game to them, you're teaching them through the game. Right? And I know obviously Colin here and a couple others here who do a lot about this as well, and Richard as well. Right? So there's people here, guys, at this conference, and you're going to learn probably more from them than you are from any of the speakers. Right? The biggest thing here is networking and sharing. Right? So when you're posing questions and when you're getting them to play the games, right, ask them why they're doing it. Ask them what they're doing. Right? Ask them what the point, well, why are you doing this? Right? They'll tell you. If they're not really sure, then just guide the question a little bit. Or you might go, oh, well, Teresa, when you were a defender, if you're far away from your player, from the attacker, what might happen? Right? Hopefully you're going to get an answer that the player's going to score or they're going to get the ball before me. Right? That's them thinking. You want them thinking all the time. Right? And through the game. Right? So principles of attack, principles of defense, right? Let them know about it. Right? Delay, deny, dispossess. Right? And then principles of attack, width, penetration, okay, depth, and defense as well, and attack. Right? So talk that. You can do that with 5-year-olds. You do that with, obviously, 30-year-olds in the senior team. Okay? So ask them the questions. Get them to come up with the answers. All right? Game sense. So obviously focus on the players we talked about before. I don't want to focus on that too much because we've already talked about it. But obviously the tactical know-how. So through the games, obviously you're going to have problems during the game. They're going to be making loads of decisions, right? Related to the bottom. And like that's only a small snippet of it. Right? You're going to have obviously the positions that they're playing, the social aspect of it, but mainly awareness on and off the ball. Okay, where they are in position of their player with the ball, their teammate, Or if they're a defender or an attacker, where are they in the defensive positions? Midfielders, are they going to stay together or split? Okay, defense, are they going to keep compact? Forwards, are they going to cross? Doesn't matter. Right? For U6, youth and adult players, the same premise. Okay, ask them the question, teach them through the games. Okay, and you get a lot from it. Right? And obviously, we're an inclusive club, so we include girls and boys, football, hurling, ladies football, and camogie. Right? Now some of our U8 players. So before we finish, last family of games, we have obviously the target court field, non-part and full invasion. All right. So if any of you have seen this before, this is kind of how we run it. All right. We looked at the target games. There's no real decision been made. Court games, obviously, you cannot have to stay on your own side, like over the river, etc. Non-invasion, very similar, but it's 4v0, team ball pass. They're moving all about the place. Part invasion, a little bit scout ball, so over the river, but having 4 against 2 on one side, 4 against 2 on the other side. And then full invasion, right? Full go games. Okay? I have loads of information on that as well, guys. Okay, so if you need anything, just send me an email and I'll send it to you. When you're coaching the children, you want them obviously unleash your super coaching powers. Right? So make sure that you're coaching them the holistic approach through these 5 areas. Right? And as you can see, each of them underpin some of the areas that are in your award 1. Right? Tactical, technical, team play, psychological, physical fitness. Right? But we've also added in the social, the connection. So I come in here, I give you sweets, making a connection. I ask your name, ask David's name. Right? Making a connection. Okay? Ask them how they're doing, ask them how they're feeling. Okay? Get to know them. Right? And obviously all of that there, their development, but then the winning hopefully might come after. We don't care. We're all very competitive. We want to win. Right? But obviously we focus on the individual more and the person more than anything else. Right? You as a coach, you as a player, your players, respect. Right? That's what you want. Okay? Whether they're referee, whether they're a coach, all our U6 parents, coaches, right, volunteers, they're all aware of our respect initiative. But obviously you and your players should be as well. Right? I've got the certificate today. Right? Guys, first of all, we would do obviously certificates and stickers and a few other rewards. If you are working with children, make rewards, okay? It is rewarding them, but it's technically bribery as well. There's nothing wrong with that, all right? Hopefully, you have taken something from today. So just finishing off. So think like the children, you're obviously, as some of the words, hopefully that you have on your sheet, right? All of those words, right, link in with the children that you're working with. So be inquisitive and curious, right, as well as having your tongue about. Right? Use your imagination, use your creativity. One concept at a time. Right? There's my alarm going off, I'm nearly done. Be open and honest, as some of you all said, and obviously smile and have fun. And hopefully you would have took some of these away with you as well. Right? So development different rates, as I talked about earlier on, be patient. Be patient with everybody. Include everybody, always. Coach the person in front of you, try new things. But last thing, lay the foundations. Right? Expression freedom, let them be children, let them be youth players, let them be adults, and enjoy the journey. Every child has potential inside them. It is up to the coach to discover it. Right? Some of you might have seen that before. Okay? But it's potential. Include the children. For youth and adults as well, guys. Right? But unlock your superpowers. Right? Hopefully after this conference and stuff as well. My Twitter feed is there. I have my card here as well, so you'll have my email address and phone number before you go. Good morning, Margaret, for coming here today. If you want to chat after, during lunch or stuff, give me a shout. But before you leave, take my card, and you can contact me for any of the resources that we had today. Thanks, guys.